Our lives are lived in motion. We love to move around, make connections, set off and arrive. Now there's a move to reassess how and why we travel, a drive to cut carbon emissions, a search for the road to sustainable mobility. Our website is filled with opinions on how that can be achieved. And we're here in Lisbon to meet some leading figures who are trying to turn transport around. Among them is Tiago Farias, an academic who's helping the Portuguese capital roll out a variety of more efficient, low-carbon transport and mobility systems. Tiago, the commentvisions.com website discussion this month is all about whether achieving sustainable mobility is about changing users' behaviour or whether it's about introducing new technology. What's your opinion?
It's both. Without changing your behaviour, you will never reach the levels of sustainability that cities like Lisbon have committed themselves. But the main goal is that people change their attitude towards mobility. You should be able to try and test and understand the advantages of new solutions. I'm not only talking about electrical vehicles, I'm talking about the bus, the train, the metro. These solutions have increased their quality in the past decades tremendously, and people are not aware of it.
What's the biggest obstacle to overhauling transport networks here in Lisbon?
You need that people understand that there's a new way of looking at mobility, that the main goal is not to move, but it's to reach our destination. Mobility is not the objective. It's a mean to reach your mission, which is to reach people, to reach goods, to reach information. And to be sustainable means that, first of all, you have to identify if you really need to move yourself. You can use technologies. You can use your internet. And if you have to move, why, with whom, and with what solution?
What solution is indeed the question. Lisbon has many forms of transport, but new ideas like electric cars and municipal bikes are receiving considerable support from high-level political figures like Lisbon Mayor Antonio Costa. Mayor Costa, you've got big plans to overhaul the transport and mobility networks here in Lisbon. Can you tell us about them?
We're expanding public transport. We're creating new forms of mobility, namely the bicycle, and we're now investing in this electric car charging network. Because for individual transport, the new paradigm will be electric mobility.
We've got to be honest, you're a politician. What's your motivation for making these kinds of investments? Is it a vote winner for you?
I don't think so. Right now, the number of users of electric cars is small. For a long time, we'll have more parking spaces for electric cars than people using them. But it's a duty of politicians to anticipate the needs of the future.
Portugal is a country which is suffering from the economic crisis. Can you really justify the investments that you're making in new mobility and new transport networks here?
The crisis is a good opportunity to do intelligent things. Our investment in renewable energies and in electric cars at a national level is essential. One of the important points of the crisis is our external debt. Half of this debt concerns the energy bill. We're investing in renewable energies because the country has excellent conditions, like sun, water or wind, essential conditions to cut in half our external energy dependence.
The Portuguese are setting a trend with their combined investments in renewables and transport, but what about the wider issues? We met up with European policy expert Sally Nishaw, who's been working with the Lisbon team. One of the things we're talking about on the Common Visions website is whether the key to sustainable mobility is in fact to encourage people to travel less. Do you think that's the case? And if so, how do you do that?
Yes, I think one part of the solution is to encourage less travel. It's a difficult challenge. This is about embracing the low-carbon challenge, and how we do it is not straightforward. For instance, we can reduce the need to travel by home working, by virtual meetings and virtual services. And there are signs that the younger generation, the internet generation, are more comfortable with that anyway and less invested in things like car ownership.
For passenger vehicles, there are quite a few technologies on the table at the moment. There are battery electric, there are hydrogen fuel cells, there are plug-in hybrids. Is there a front runner at the moment?
I think there's going to be a place for all those vehicles in the future, and it's probably a case of the right car at the right time in the right place. I think in terms of electric cars, it'll be battery electric and hybrid to start with. They're already on the road and in development. And perhaps in 20, 30 years' time, we'll see more hydrogen fuel cell vehicles emerging. But all of this depends on innovations in engines and transmission and breakthroughs in energy supply and storage systems.
What's the right energy mix for the future? Because fossil fuels are becoming scarce. What kind of things are we going to start to see?
Well, there are predictions now that alternative fuels do have the potential to replace fossil fuels for transport by 2050. There's no one single candidate. It's more likely to be a mix, predominantly electricity and biofuels, but with also some possibilities for methane, synthetic fuels and LPG. And it will be different fuels for different modes of transport.
The keys to achieving sustainable mobility lie in many areas. The relative cleanliness of the energy sources used to generate power, innovations in technology, and the personal choices we make every day.